What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of the NGPT Podcast. We are extremely excited to bring this to you. This is going to be something that we think is going to be very beneficial for everyone, in and out of the gym. We have our co-hosts here, Malachi, Steven. I'm sure you've seen our faces quite a bit throughout the gym. And even if you have not frequented the gym very often, you know, you can get to know us now throughout this podcast. So we're very excited for that. This idea kind of came together around 6 weeks ago or so, I think. And it was something that I kind of woke up one day and was like, hey, let's do a podcast. And I came up to Malachi and he was all on board and we're super excited for that. So over the past few weeks, some planning has gone into this. I got to thank Brock for, giving us resources that allow us to do this. And honestly, we want to show appreciation and gratitude to you because without the support of the community in general, those that, train with NGPT, those of you who just frequent the gym, are members of ARC, without your continued support, we would not be where we are today. And that goes for the gym too. We have grown leaps and bounds in the last, it's been almost 3 years now, which is insane. And without all of you, this just would not be possible. So thank you to all of you out there, all of you listening, all the support that we've had from, whenever we even brought this up, everybody come to us being like super supportive, super excited. So thank you all.
Before we get too far into this, it's important to note we are filming this in our cycle studio here at Arc Fitness in Mechanicsburg, PA. For any of you who are familiar with the location itself or how things work here, we have the cycle studio doors open behind you. You might see people walk in between, acknowledge and say hi, thing like that. But like Steven said, my name is Malachi Miller. We decided to come up. We started the process to get this thing rolling about 6 weeks ago. Steven approached me with the idea, and I was on board immediately. Thought it was a fantastic idea. So we went to Brock, the owner of the company, as some of you know, and we figured out what we needed to get things started, what we needed to do in terms of the plan that we placed to make sure that things aren't rushed, aren't weird, nothing's out of the sorts. So it was a really good idea.
Yeah.
It was a super cool thing that Steven was passionate about. Would love to. I'm super happy to be a part of. So over the course of our however long we do this, you'll get to know the both of us pretty well, I hope.
Yeah.
And any of the guests that we have on.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, us being in the cycle room and we have the doors open here. You might hear a little bit of the music from the stern of ARC. We want this to be raw and authentic. So we might have some people come in every now and then, while we're filming and, give them a shout out saying, hey, so we're just going to kind of keep the flow going. We just really want this to be raw and authentic. So,
Hi, Ron.
just like we mentioned.
So, Ron, you. So to get the intro started, again, my name is Malachi. I have been training or a trainer for NGPT for almost exactly a year at this point. I took on my first client. And things have gone at Jason really, really well for me over the last year. Obviously, long hours, and I really wanted to do this from the time I was I think sophomore in high school. I determined that I wanted to help people in the gym, help people be more confident, help people live healthier lives. So I went from working on the football team whenever I was in 8th and 9th grade to teaching myself everything through my early years of high school, or through high school, I should say, and then going to college. Got my degree at Shippensburg in kinesiology or exercise science with a human performance focus and a coaching minor. So needless to say, this was my goal from the start, to help people in the gym feel more confident, be more able to talk to people outside of the gym because of that confidence, and honestly, just to, like I said, live a healthier lifestyle, because that's something that since I've done has made incredible changes in my life. And if I can help other people do that, then through this job, through being a personal trainer, then I think I can be happy no matter what I'm getting paid or whatever the situation may be. I'm glad that NGPT, Next Generation Personal Training, has allowed me the opportunity to do so. So
Yeah, I will say I remember coming in for the first time.
yeah, I wonder what that was like.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because you had this aura around you, and like we could all see it. Like you had this confidence. So, and now it's like on full display, and it's great to see, man. So we're super pumped that you're here.
I've never actually asked anybody that what it felt like or what everybody else thought of me when I came in. So really good.
Bring it in this outsider, get him out there.
Say it right. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I'm actually super curious about that. But that's pretty much my backstory. Um, from Central Pennsylvania, went to Carlisle High School, and went to Shippensburg University. So been local, stayed local for the most part. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got here.
So, did you play sports throughout high school? Anything like that?
I didn't. No, I wish I could have. But growing up, my family didn't have the greatest financial situations.
Right.
So as soon as I turned 16, I got my work permit and started to work to help support my mom, support my families. I didn't really have the ability to work in high school and have the time to, unfortunately. But it's always been a really good passion of mine, and it's been something that I obsess over is athletics, specifically basketball, but athletic basketball, UFC, mixed martial arts, that kind of stuff. And then I also Olympic lift. So that kind of all translates and comes together.
Yeah. So get that game of basketball and maybe some horse though, because
we can start with horse there, absolutely.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Yeah, we're definitely super excited you're here, and yeah, congratulations also on the recent promotion to management team. It's super awesome, man. I'm super proud of you. Crushing, so appreciate you. I'm trying.
Doing my best. That's all we can do.
Yeah, actually. Well, yeah. So some of you guys have known me for quite a while. Some of my clients, I've been here almost since the very beginning. But I'll start a little further back from that. I'm from a small town in West Virginia, southern West Virginia, specifically Beckley, West Virginia, where I pretty much lived my entire life. I ended up going to college at Marshall University. That's another small West Virginia town called Lincoln, West Virginia. Some of you guys might know some sports athletes from there, Randy Moss, Chad Pennington. There's Jason Williams. There's also a movie with Matthew McConaughey that was actually filmed while I was there. So that's pretty awesome. We are Marshall. So it's about the 1970 somewhere in there plane crash with the football team. Oh, and they rebuilt from ground up. So it's a very cool. So graduated from Marshall in 2007. I have an accounting degree. Some of you guys might not know that. So I did accounting for roughly 12 years. That led me up to around 2021, 2022. And back in 2019, so lifting weights and fitness in general has been a passion of mine since probably around high school. So I actually got into fitness in high school because I didn't play sports specifically, just like you. When I turned 16, I got a job. So I wanted to drive, right? So I needed to pay for gas, insurance, all that stuff. But me and my friends, senior year of high school, decided we wanted to get together a street hockey team. And we started training for that. And that's kind of when I first got in. And since then, it's been something I've loved and enjoyed to do. So during my accounting years, I would, always, read magazines and, bodybuilding forums, all that. And, I kind of developed a passion. I hired one of my first coaches was Austin Curran from what then was Physique Development. I worked with him for about 3 years, and in that process, he was kind of my mentor. I learned a lot about, becoming a coach. A lot of the things that I do now as a coach, I learned directly. And he was always very supportive of me, even when I brought up, I want to become a personal trainer, helping me, guide me through that process, becoming a coach, starting my own business, where I did online coaching for, a couple of years. And that brings me to around 2022. Man, it's hard to believe it's been almost 3 years. Moved here 2022. I think I began August 2022, actually. So funny story is as you guys know, our educational platform is basically M1 education. That's what we study. That's
The basis.
yes, the basis. It's kind of a requirement for all of us. And within that, we can network, social media, things like that. And actually, it was Yo, as you guys know, he's another trainer here. We had, friended each other on Instagram, and we'd go back and forth here and there. And I was just kind of getting tired of the desk life, and I was doing the online coaching thing, and I kind of wanted to, give this a chance. It was now or never. So I had spoken to him because I had seen that art was opening up. I was like, I'm just going to send my resume and see what happens. Really had no expectations, but yeah, I did that. Kind of set up a call with him and Brock, and kind of the rest is history. I about a month before I actually moved up here, and met the entire team.
Just to reiterate, you sent your resume from West Virginia.
Yeah,
So for anybody that's not exactly aware, we're in South Central Virginia. Steve was living in Southern West Virginia.
6 hours.
So that was 6 hours away. It took a massive swing. It took a swing on joining a brand new startup company and a startup gym in South Central Pennsylvania, where our closest thing is Harrisburg, 45 minutes away. Right. That's the one thing that most everybody knows in South Central Pennsylvania is Harrisburg. So it's pretty impressive that you took that chance on yourself.
So yeah, it was. We always say you have to get uncomfortable, bro. And man, I don't think I've ever been more uncomfortable. That was a big decision. Leaving my family behind, leaving a job with benefits, vacation, all that stuff. And, yeah. And I just wanted something more rewarding. And, that's why I'm here now. So, I'm just fortunate that, Brock and the team took a chance on me. I came up and met those guys, pretty much sealed the deal then. Then I moved up here not too long after, and that's where it started. October 2022. So coming up on 3 years now. Yeah, I've worked with some awesome people, and I've been very fortunate that this has happened because so many great things have come from it. I've met so many great people, so many experiences, and if I could go back and do it over again, I'd do it exactly the same. It's been really
So to give everybody a little bit of a background about the facility that we're filming this in, yes, NGPT is the training company within Arc Fitness. So it gets kind of confusing at times. People will assume that we're Arc Fitness trainers. It's a completely separate company, 2 different owners, but the owners are pretty much in lockstep with every major decision that they make regarding the gym and the training company. Inside the gym, it's super important for anybody that isn't aware. When you walk into the doors here, from trainers to desk staff to other training clients to gym members itself, it feels like a community that is intentional. We do things very different here. And we want to foster a culture of people being accepted into a gym and people being able to come in here and reach their goals and push hard and work hard to achieve their goals in here and outside of here. Right? We foster a culture of work. We want our people to work hard and be healthy and happy inside these walls and outside these walls, and to go noticed. One of the biggest things whenever I used to work at the desk here, so I have a little bit of insight. Some most trainers don't. One of the big things that Noah, the owner of ARC, pushes is for even every member that walks through that door to be greeted with their name, right? Because it makes a huge difference for somebody on their worst day if they walk into the gym, just the gym, and they are greeted by their name and with some sort of fist bump, hug, or something to acknowledge that they are here and they are welcome here. That way they have a space where they can go get their work in, leave, feel appreciated, feel welcome, and feel like they have a home gym, not just a gym at home. That's kind of the way that we foster the community here. It makes a huge difference for our members, and the feel of the gym when you walk in is just 10 times different than any other gym that I've been to. It's super important to point that out because it feels much different in here, and it's a welcome feeling. That's for sure. Steven, coming from a trainer's perspective, strictly a trainer's perspective, I speak on that a little bit.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up. So at this gym, you're not a stat, right? So I know there are some other gyms out there where you go and yeah, you're basically a number, right? So
Just another one.
yeah, and that's the complete opposite of what we think of your community. And again, Noah and Hannah have done an excellent job of creating culture, giving back to the community. That is something that's very we want everybody that comes through those doors, whether you're visiting from another city for a weekend or whether you come through the store 5 days a week, every week, greet it by your name, a hug, a fist bump, all that is so, so important. And I know I've had clients that have come to me and in the past, they've been scared to come to a gym. With Art Fitness, you don't have to worry about that because you are welcome from the people at the front desk when you walk in. All the other members within the gym are so yes, welcoming, friendly. That is something that we take pride in. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
I had a conversation with one of my clients. I'm sure you've had multiple. Before she signed up, she was hesitant to walk into a gym or any gym, specifically this one. She said it actually told me yesterday or the day before. She said she thought it was like a juice factory, right? Like she thought people were just all in here on steroids, raging out, going crazy. And to be honest, she could not have been farther from the truth, right? Every time she walks in here, no matter if she's having a good day or a bad day, she gets greeted with her name. She feels welcome. These are all her words. And she has never felt more comfortable in a gym space than she does here. That's not us bragging. It's just explaining how things work in here and why we do the things that we do differently than other gyms because we value the people that walk in these doors, not just for the money that they give us from their pocket, but for their presence in this gym. And Stephen mentioned we want to help the community that has helped us become who we are, right? We wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys without the members of the Carlisle, Mechanicsburg, Harrisburg, the friggin' Boiling Springs communities helping us grow as we have. So that's just another way for us to give to them what they've given to us in a different form. Yeah, it's really nice.
and I will say it speaks volumes. We recently lost somebody here that worked the front desk, Ron, who you all know, and it kind of speaks volumes about what this community is like. You just look at the posts that that Noah did about Ron in his memorial, and just all of the outpouring, just love, and that's what goes on here. Everybody loves one another. We're friendly and such a welcoming environment. So if you guys have not stopped in Park at any time, we definitely welcome all of you. So we'd be very happy to see you.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because it's everybody from the first day you've ever stepped into a gym to people competing in their multiple bodybuilding conditions or competitions. Like from across the board, you see everyone in here and everyone is treated exactly the same, which is super cool. And one of the not founders, but like spearheads and guys that did that the greatest was Ron, the gentleman that Steven mentioned. Was it 2 months ago that we lost Ron?
Yeah, that was good.
Month was a month.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, he was our opener every morning. He was here. The door says we open at 5. Ron was in here sometimes as early as 4 o'clock in the morning, if not earlier. I believe. And even that early in the morning, he was pretty big handshake, fist bump that was acknowledging, even when he probably had 4 hours of sleep. So, for those of you that are watching, you may not have gotten to experience that, but he's one person that we all try to emulate and model in our daily lives now since he's not here with us. Making sure that what he did for people is what we continue to do. And that's at the forefront as soon as we walk in the doors.
And I will say, like, I've had multiple people, like, within the gym just come up to me and, they're scared to ask questions, scared to interact with other people. So if you guys ever have questions about anything, there are trainers around throughout the gym all day long. Front desk, feel free to ask questions if you don't know where a piece of equipment is. So, yeah, exactly. We're here to make you feel comfortable and we want to make sure that the environment is perfect.
It's super important. Like, it doesn't matter if you're our client or Steven's client, or maybe you're working with a coach that isn't here, right? If you just have general exercise question, general fitness question, whatever it may be, you can approach any of us, these four walls, general, even just a regular person, a client. They would either answer that question for you or point you in the direction of somebody that can answer that question. And that's like Steven said, it's super important that we continue that moving forward, that everybody that steps on those doors, they can ask questions, no right question.
And we have so much to offer here, so many different things. Of course, personal training is something we specialize in, but we also have cycle room, which we're in right now. Some awesome instructors, prepare that and have classes throughout the week that a lot of people attend and love. So we also have posing room that Yo, another personal trainer here, specializes in. So, whether you're just coming for some cardio, some personal training, whether you're a contest prep client and need some posing, we kind of have everything on. So it's very exciting.
It's really cool. We have a lot of visiting competitors that aren't from the area that come in here and pose, and posing rooms. I think it's probably one of the best in Central PA. But yeah, it's really cool. It's a great facility. If anybody hasn't been here, this is not us trying to sell it. It's just us telling you what we have to offer. It's really good.
Yeah, that posing room is awesome, man. It's just it's lighting, perfect. All of yours.
So real quick before we kind of wrap things up, you may have heard a couple names that you're not familiar with if you haven't been here. We intend to have guests on for the foreseeable future to cover integral parts of the community here, being the owners of the companies, investors into the companies, trainers, some clientele. Obviously, it's going to take some time, but it's kind of our intention moving forward. And then shifting off into just more informational exercise and healthy lifestyle stuff. We'll be covering a lot from now on, honestly, as long as we run this thing. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to one of us via social media, in person, and we'll make sure that eventually your question gets answered. That way, and maybe even answered on a platform like this, so other people who probably have a similar question get their question answered with good information.
Yeah, absolutely. Just talking about kind of the foreseeable, like next month or 2 months. Our plan is to have basically the foundation, right? That's going to be our episodes covering just the foundation of ARP and NGPT in general. So we're going to have 5 or 6 guests here on, over these next 8 weeks or so. And just talking about anything and everything, honestly, from the actual company to personal life. We're trying to open the door a little bit and let you guys see a little bit, what goes on behind the scenes, kind of get to know the person, right? I know a lot of you guys see us throughout the gym and maybe you don't know us outside of it. So this is our opportunity to, do that for you and have clientele on, share their stories, success stories, just everything. So like I said, it's going to be raw and authentic. There's probably going to be a lot of emotions, throughout various episodes, a lot of laughter, probably some crying, who knows? So, really, we're very excited to do this and, we can kind of go any direction we want. We want to branch off, do some educational stuff. And maybe some of that's going to tie into some workshops down the road too. I know some of you guys have been to some of the workshops we've done, over the past few years. So we're definitely excited to maybe branch off and do some of that again too.
Yeah, for sure. This will be a platform for not just us, but for you guys to get to know people within these walls and trying to just get an inside look as to how things run here as a training company, as a gym, how that partnership has worked so well over the last couple of years to promote such an incredible environment around here. Not just as this for us, it's for you guys as well. That's the main reason that we're doing this.
We want to bring some value in other ways outside of, just in-person training and things like that. So this is an opportunity to, just kind of do that. One of the things we love to do is educate. So that's going to be a huge part of this platform. And definitely looking forward to that.
All good?
Yep, sounds good.
All right, guys.
Yeah, you guys catch us on Spotify and YouTube, right? So,
Yep.
I'm gonna try to film these, pretty frequently, and we'll keep you guys updated on, when they go live, all that stuff.
Absolutely. You can keep up with us through Instagram. I use Snap. Steven uses Facebook a little bit. Yeah. Most social media platforms, you can find us under my name, Steven's name. And find us on the NGPT Instagram page. And most of us are featured on the ARC Instagram page as well. So if you have any questions, reach out through any of those 4 channels, and we'll be sure to get your question answered. Make sure that everybody's good. Absolutely. Yes. All right. Thank you for tuning into episode 1.
We appreciate you guys. We're looking forward to many more episodes.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys later. Have a great day.
See ya.